like to go upon for the inaugural speech by Dr. Suresh H. Advani. Padma Bhushan Dr. Suresh H. Advani is also the first oncologist in India to have successfully done a bone marrow transplant. He has been awarded Padma Shri by Government of India in 2002 and has been awarded with Dr. B.C. Roy National Award by Medical Council of India and the year of 2005. Dr. Suresh H. Advani is one of the India's best oncologists who won Padma Bhushan Award in the year 2012 by the Government of India. And the topic for his presentation is cancer and its prevention.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, thank you very much for a nice introduction. And I'm going to really now discuss about how the cancer is having its impact in the population. I think all over the world, the COVID-19 is playing a havoc, not only with the human life, but also with the economy. Similarly, I don't think we should underestimate that what cancer is doing to the humanity. It is, the numbers are increasing more and more, and the treatment results are getting little better. But again, in terms of economy, it is definitely having the impact at the individual level of the patients, at the level of the government, that they have to spend so much, and at every level. And therefore, we have to really take on to the cancer also at the same level as, or maybe more, as we have taken care of with the COVID-19. Remember that the cancer is not as easy as COVID-19. COVID-19 was a single disease, single virus, everything known about it, and see how rapidly we developed the vaccine, and I'm sure we'll be able to overcome that. But on the other hand, cancer is of multiple organs, it is of multiple etiology, etiopathogenesis, and so many variables. And therefore, we have to really work hard to battle this against the cancer. All over the world, particularly in developing countries, the cancer number is increasing also rapidly. And I'm sure that we will never be able to cope up with the number of patients that we are seeing. And for that matter, I think it is important that we not only pay our attention to the treatment part, the progress which is happening in the field of management, but also we must take care and think about the prevention. And I think the majority of the people, lay people, think that cancer cannot be prevented. Actually, it is the other way around. In fact, we have data which suggests that if we follow some principles in terms of diet, habit, atmosphere, we can prevent almost 50% of the cancer. So the cancer burden will become half if we take care with the cancer prevention measures. So before we talk about prevention, we have to know what are the various etiopathogenesis factors which are responsible for such a high number of cancer. The answer is very simple. Everybody says the cancer is the disease of lifestyle. But what is the meaning of the lifestyle? Lifestyle meaning is that we have to change our habits, we have to change our atmosphere, we have to change our food. So I think that is where we have to develop our own area to prevent the cancer. How do we change the habits? Everybody all over the world, people know that the tobacco is the main cause for the various malignancies, including the mouth cancer, head and neck cancer, the cancer of larynx, the vocal cord cancer, esophageal cancer, lung cancer, all related to the tobacco. And what a burden it is. Lung cancer is number one cancer. Remember, all over the world, it's number one cancer. And similarly, the cervical cancer also is number one cancer in many part of the world in females, particularly in the developing areas. And that is probably related to the genital hygiene. And therefore, all over the world, it is very clear that as the water consumption increases, as people have more privacy, as people have more measures to clean the private parts, I think the number of cervical cancer is coming down. Of course, the HPV relationship with the cervical cancer will really help us to almost eliminate the cancer of cervix from the next generation onwards who are taking the vaccine today. So I think these are the areas where the lot of work is going on. Remember tobacco. The mouth cancer is common in India. Why? Very simple. You see how people are chewing the tobacco. All around, day and night, they go on chewing the tobacco. They go on smoking, and that leads to the lung cancer. And they also take a lot of tobacco and swallow it down, and therefore esophageal cancer. I'll just give you the example that in lung cancer, in males in US, the incidence of smoking came down. And as the incidence of smoking came down, the lung cancer also decreased in US, in males. But in females, it became more. And that was the reason that females were smoking more. So you can really have a direct correlation with the smoking or with the lung cancer. Similarly, you look at the way people chew the tobacco, particularly in the places like UP, Bihar, and West Bengal, and the Northeast, where everybody is chewing the tobacco. And mouth cancer is so common over there. The cancer of the larynx and the vocal cord is very common in the Northeast. And the cancer of the esophagus is also common. In fact, in Northeast, particularly in a place like Assam, the highest incidence of esophageal cancer is reported. And that is related to an observation which whenever you visit these places, you will find very evident. There, the children above the age of 10, they are consuming tobacco and they continue that till their life. So I think you can see what an impact it has in terms of tobacco consumption and the smoking pattern in the developing world where the control on the tobacco is very little. But it's very obvious that if we prevent the tobacco use in these areas, almost more than 50% of these mouth cancer, lung cancer, esophageal cancer will come down. And that will be a big saving for the human race. Second comes in lifestyle, this comes how we take care of our body. Look at what is happening. That if you take the pattern of breast cancer in females is number one all over the world. And it's becoming number one even in India, particularly in places like in cities, Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Madras is number one cancer, breast cancer. Why? Because it's related to the lifestyle. What is the reason in the cities where the incidence is high as compared to the villages? Very simple. In cities, the ladies they get married after the age of 30. While in villages, they get married after the age of 20. And by 22, they have their first child. This you cannot find in the major city. So that is one of the reasons, which is very clear, that people or ladies who get married early and have the first child before the age of 25, they have a less incidence of the breast cancer as compared to the ladies who have the marriage and the first child after the age of 30. So I think you can clearly see the difference. The second difference is, of course, the period of lactation. In cities, period of lactation is less than 3 months. In villages, it's 2 to 3 years. That's why there's a difference in terms of frequency of breast cancer. Third, which is I think is important, is the fact that the physical activity. Look at in the villages, all ladies have to work hard. They have to get up early to get the water on their own. They have to travel a kilometer or so to get the water. While in city, it's all the time available. Nobody has to exert to get the water. In cities, the ladies are all working. They get up early morning, probably don't cook much, do little bit cooking, and then get into the taxi, car, bus, train, go to the office, work 8 hours, sitting job usually on the table and the chair, and evening come back tired, come back in the same way and have the small meal and go to sleep. So look at it. The physical activity is almost nil. And that's why all over the world today people are emphasizing on the physical activity, particularly ladies, that they should join some of these gyms and all other areas where they can do the physical activity. So I think it is very important that particularly for the ladies, that they have to have more physical activity, and by doing the more physical activity, burning out the fat, they will be able to reduce the risk of breast cancer. I think this is very important for all of us to realize that the period of lactation, the physical activity, and the time of the first child is important in prevention of the breast cancer. And as we are copying what is happening in the West, we are going to bound to have a more and more number of breast cancer. So what we have to do is to keep our culture preserved, to keep near the nature, take lot of fruits, vegetables, fiber diet more, and get involved with the more physical activity. And that's where we can keep our body fit and free from the some of the cancers. Lastly, I would like to also mention about the food. There are a lot of evidence where food has been incriminated as a cause of the cancer. Look at the stomach cancer. It's very common in Japan. It's also common in some of the southern part of our country, and that's where it is the food habit which makes the difference. The people in the Japan, they take sushi, which is preserved with the salt for a long time, and probably the salt gets converted into the carcinogenic salt, and that is why they have a very high incidence of stomach cancer. Also, in southern part of the India, they consume lot of preserved chilies, and that is where they also have the high incidence of stomach cancer. Lastly, I think the colon cancer. Colon cancer is more common in people who do not take vegetables or fruits, fresh fruits, and take only the non-veg food. And I think that is also related to the habit, that there are some people who have no habit of taking the fiber diet. They remain constipated a long period of time, and I am sure that is what brings them to the higher incidence of the colon cancer. So friends, today what I have really discussed with you, few points, a few areas of how our body is being controlled by the external factors like our habits, like our food intake, and like our atmosphere in which we are living, and of course our own physical activity, maintaining our own body. So I think that is what is really the major problem, and I'm sure the government, non-government organization in India, they are doing their best to see that the cancer prevention is given the due attention so that in future we can really keep our society at a very low burden of cancer. With these few words, I would like to thank all of you for listening to this talk. Thank you.